gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley. How did you like that action sequence? That's the best I got. Welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 24. Can you believe it's 24 already? I can't. I thought I was only going to have to do this for like 12 videos and then I'd be launched and everything would be roses. Not the case. All right, so here's the deal. Everything is moving along just like last week. Not as quick as we'd like, but we are making some serious progress. The website is practically complete. Now, I've got a question for you. And this is something I'd like you to answer down in the comments section. I'm not saying we're going to do this, but if you were buying something at a discounted rate in a pre-sale type of setting, right? Say we were to be like, yo, we're about to pre-sale, we're going to give it to you at a discount, but you got to wait X number of weeks. What is the longest, or what do you think is acceptable for a time period in terms of a pre-sale or to wait once you purchase something? Like Kickstarter campaigns are one of those things where you put the money down now, you buy it now, and then you don't get the product for like 4 months, 3 months, whatever. And for me, that's pretty long to wait. So I would be curious. I think we all would be curious because we've been sort of bouncing ideas around in terms of doing like a soft launch. You know, what is that time period? Would you guys be willing to wait 30 days? Would you be willing to wait 60 days? 2 weeks? Really, I need you to help us sort of determine if and how long we're going to be doing a pre-sale. And I don't even know that we're going to, but these are just some things that we've been talking about and sort of contemplating. So it's like, well, why not just ask them? And so you guys have been there. You guys have been here. You've helped us along the way. You guys picked our packaging. You guys have given us some incredible feedback. And so why not help us determine whether or not we're going to do a soft launch pre-sale or if we should just avoid that altogether. And if we are, how long would you be willing to wait? Does that make sense? Down in the comments, let us know. Moving on, if you hear beeping or if you hear like construction work, there's construction going on outside and it's annoying, but the show must go on, as they say. So today, I want to take a little bit of time and address something that I've been thinking a bit about, we've been thinking a bit about as a company, and it has to do with one of the questions we were asked in the last vlog, 23. If you guys missed that one, it's listed down in the description where we answer some of your questions. So the question was, when do you know? How much money should you have before you start your business? And so that's such like an interesting question, and it's so tough to be like, you need this or you need that, because every business is different, every scenario is different. But one thing that I want to talk a bit about, because a lot of people, if you're starting a business for the first time, you have no idea about this concept of terms. Payment terms, as in they give you or produce the product and you have X number of days to pay them. Or on the flip side, if you sell your product, some people may ask for terms, meaning they want 30 days in order to sell through some of the inventory before they actually pay you. And that's sort of, we'll use Pete and Pedro as an example. When I sell Pete and Pedro, my hair care, how is my hair? It's pretty rough today. So with Pete and Pedro, I sell direct. I sell online on my website. I sell on Amazon. But I also have a distribution channel in the Grooming Lounge. GroomingLounge.com, a great place to find all things grooming. And they sell Pete and Pedro as well. I wholesale it to them. But what they do is I send it to them and they've got 30 days to cut me a check or to write me a check or to pay for that inventory. And so I basically have to eat it. Like I've got to take inventory that I've already paid for and send it to them and cross my fingers that it's actually going to sell. And when I've never actually had the situation where they haven't paid in 30 days, because I think that's one of the terms or the terms that we've agreed upon, which is net 30. And that's sort of what I want to talk about. They have 30 days to actually pay me. And so with with starting a business, cash flow is so incredibly important. And if you watch Shark Tank, you hear all the time, how much money do you have tied up in inventory? And a lot of times the sharks will dissuade somebody from going into retail because they're not going to pay you. Some companies are like Walmart's and Target's, they might not pay you for 60, 90 days. So you've got to have enough money in the bank to be able to float and support yourself, support your company, and grow your company, hopefully, potentially, before you're ever going to get paid from the inventory that you've already paid for that you're sending out and letting them sell. But cash flow is one of those things that is critical, because you don't want to get into a situation where you spend all this money on inventory, you pay for it right up front, and then you don't have money to keep the lights on or to ship the product. And the other thing is, it could take longer than you anticipate for it to sell. And so being aware of that and having access to cash, whether or not that's a line of credit from a bank, a friend, a family member, or if you need to raise a little bit of extra money, there are a lot of variables that can come up that you didn't anticipate. And when you're starting a business, things and situations that you don't expect pop up. That is the norm as opposed to the exception, if that makes any sense. And so one thing that you can do is you can negotiate terms. So say you have a manufacturer that is making your product. One of the questions that you should ask immediately is, what are the payment terms and what are my options? A lot of times they'll have you make a deposit up front, sometimes 50%, but then maybe you can get 30, 60, 90 days on the received products, or terms once you actually receive the product. So you've got 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to actually repay the balance. Does this make sense? And the reason why I wanted to talk a little bit more about this and really focus on financing, and sometimes you could use a credit card. Credit cards unfortunately come with a lot of them have a high interest rate, but if you're paying it off and you don't leave that money sitting on there, a lot of people, when you're starting a business, will open up a credit card just for cash, to have access to it, or for those situations where you didn't actually see you were going to need X, Y, and Z. And so having access to cash or credit is a great thing when you're starting a business, just so that you can sustain it. Now, if you're still trying to sustain it 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, then you've got to make some hard decisions, because I don't want to say that it's not going to work, but if it hasn't worked up until that point, unless you've projected that it's going to take you 2.5 years, 3 years, however long, in order to recognize a profit, because that's common. When you've got big startups and when there's a lot of tech or a lot of development that is required, you could not be profitable for years in the future. But ideally that's not the case, unless you just have some great idea. You've got funding, you've got people that are throwing money at you and with that you got to be careful, because you don't want to take necessarily more than you need, but you need enough to keep things going. So anyway, I just want to do a quick vlog and sort of talk a bit more about the financing. Thanks for watching. I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of this, that the net term sort of payment plan options are available. You may have actually experienced it already, but I just wanted to spend a little more time, because cash and cash flow is critical to success in business. Once again, guys, let me know down in the comment section how long that window is. If you are going to pre-sell or pre-order something, how long you'd be willing to wait before you have it in your hands. And also, if you haven't signed up to the Tiege mailing list, there's a link down below to Tiege.com, where if you sign up, we will be doing giveaways, we'll be doing coupons, we'll be doing offers, product launch information. You want to be there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. It not only means a lot to me, it means a lot to the chemists, Rob and Kelly. We can't tell you how powerful your participation has been and how much we just love having you be around. Thanks for watching.